Hello, it's Meg, and today we're here with our final chapter in our book study, Abdullah, Teacher, Healer, by Walter C. Lanyon. This book, New Thought book, was written by Walter C. Lanyon and published in 1921. And if you have not checked out the previous 5 chapters, we have a playlist with all of them where I discuss and read each chapter in this book. Now, back in the day, as we've discussed previously, this was written during a time when the patriarchy was very strong, so it is definitely written with masculine pronouns and perspective. And I've just chosen to accept that that's how the book was written. That was the time period in which it was written. The prose is very much early 20th century type of prose. But I found this chapter in particular to be very interesting. He does get a little bit preachy coming up in this chapter, so be ready. I'd say this is the one where he gets the most sort of like evangelical. And he talks a lot about faith, and he talks a lot about the power of healing. And he talks about how the power of mind to manifest and create. So he really dives into all of that kind of stuff. And I just want to say that it's very interesting when he really gets into the whole idea of healing through the power of mind. And this was, again, early 20th century, where there was a lot of this in New Thought that kind of turned into Christian Scientists and that whole school of thought. And I find this personally interesting because my father was brought up Christian Scientist. So I just think it's interesting, sort of the thought process that you can heal yourself mentally. I personally go to the doctor. I also work on that side of it, though, the mental healing. I really do. But I also understand I'm just living in a little 3D body. And, I'm not going to not take my heart medicine if I need it because I don't want to, have a stroke or something. And I really could tell you this because my grandfather, Christian Scientist, died of an asthma attack at age 68 because he would not go to a doctor and he wouldn't take any asthma medications which were available to him at the time, in the time period in which he was living. And I also think it's pretty silly to just pray for a miracle when the miracle could actually be a doctor, nurse, or other healthcare provider who could literally save your life. So if you don't think like God, the source universe, puts gifted healers here to help you, cure you, make your body whole and healthy again, I think you need to think again, because why would gifted healers exist if not to perform God's miracles for us here on earth? If you're sick or you're hurt, pray and go to the doctor. So all I can say is I encourage you to, use your mental powers to stay in good health. If you are sick, use your mental powers to heal yourself, but don't neglect your 3D body and think that you shouldn't go to the doctor. I'm a one that believes you can do it all. Do it both. Do it all and do it both. I think going to the doctor is kind of like going to the mechanic for your car. Sometimes you just need to go and get something fixed, and it's okay. But he talks a lot about, aligning yourself with God, and he just talks a lot about having the faith that when you are allied with God, you can do miraculous things. And he keeps reminding us to go back to the beginning, back to the silence, back to time before there was anything. And that is a place you want to try to go to the silence. And from there, you can manifest. And I do agree with that. It is very important to be able to meditate and get yourself to that in the beginning place where you're in that place of silence. And you can start to imagine in your mind what you want to manifest in the 3D. So this is going to be a great chapter with a lot of thoughts on how to manifest. He's going to get a little preachy here. Our characters, by the way, are long gone and we will never see or hear from them again. So poor Abdullah and Jethro, they just got tossed out the window halfway through this book. So let's sit back and relax and let us enjoy the final chapter of Abdullah, Teacher, Healer by Walter C. Lanyon. Chapter 6. In the Beginning. In the beginning. What does that call to your mind? What do you think of when you say, in the beginning. Can you mentally take yourself to a place of hushed silence where nothing was as yet manifested? That is, in the beginning. Then you move away from the beginning. You begin to see creation appear. Out of what did it appear? In the beginning, before a single plant or animal had come to light, there was naught but silence. The substance of the things hoped for is the material from which creation was made. This beautiful world of ours was made out of something, you must admit that. It was not drawn out of nothing or vacuity. It was formed and molded out of substance, thought substance, which became visible. A perfect concept of a thing rested in the mind of the Father, and when there perfected, it was brought out into the light and made a living word, or the Word made flesh. And so today, no thing is made out of nothing. You must have something to create it from. You must have substance out of which to make a thing. And when you take all this reasoning back to in the beginning, you begin to realize what a wonderful thing this thought substance is. Just think of it. It is the foundation of our substance, cause and effect of everything. Did you ever stop to think where a stick of wood really came from? You answer, it grew. Yes, but even granting that it grew, it must have something to grow from, something out of which to form its visible substance. Certainly the finished oak is in the acorn, but after all, just what is it that makes the cells and fibers and finally the solid oak? You say a man grows from a baby, or you say he unfolds. But what is it that supplies the material accompaniment of growth? Taking all this back again to in the beginning, we find that everything first had its origin in mind, and that mind is the substance or formless something out of which creation was drawn, and the command, "Let there be," was the power which shaped it to its desired end. Before you can write a letter, it is formed in mind. You immediately set about to draw together the material which goes to make up a letter. If you build a house, you first do it mentally, and there the image of the thing rests eternally. Gradually, as you assemble the material and the workmen, you see your image or mental picture brought out into the realization. So it is with a demonstration of health. You must first assemble the thoughts or mind substance out of which health is made. By carefully drawing your arguments and laying a foundation to your arguments, you will begin to see your image or picture of health made manifest in the flesh, and we have what is called healing. One of the greatest shaping processes, which brings to a formed or framed demonstration of this divine, formless substance, is faith. Of course, you know this, and you say, well, after all, we are just where we started years ago, back to the idea called faith. But perhaps you have never stopped to consider just what faith means. When understood metaphysically, it surpasses the wishing and longing and becomes a non-resisting, unanxious wisdom, which relaxes and at the same time, which is keenly alert. It is akin to something positive, as when you turn on a switch, you expect the currency of electricity to operate. So faith, when raised to the highest understanding, becomes a more positive motive power than electricity. Thy faith has made thee whole, not thy longing or wishing or even thy desiring, but thy faith. We need to cultivate the same faith as the woman who touched Jesus and received her healing. The faith of the man let down through the roof, the faith of the centurion. When we begin to realize that we are allied with the Father within, we begin to speak out this authority, which this alliance makes possible. When one comes to you for help, they have faith in you and that you can do the work. They are not seeking the material you, but the Father within you, which has for some reason or another been manifested to them through you. Hence they seek him through you. Remember that you had nothing to do with this decision. They are seeking him through you because they either saw the Father in you made visible or else have heard others bear testimony of the fact. What is your duty then in this matter but to say with the Father to your patient, thy faith has made thee whole. Take up thy bed and walk. And if you dare do such a thing in the holiness of this alliance, your patient will take up his bed and walk healed and renewed. Be not afraid to ally yourself with your Father. Cease claiming the material parenthood. You are not a Jones or a Smith or somebody else if that means you are to bear the badges of a material heritage. You are the child of a king and are to be about your Father's business. It may help you in your work to go back to in the beginning and clear your mind. Take it back to the time when nothing was yet made manifest to the world, and then start your let there be process of reasoning, bringing out only just what you desire to see manifested. If you desired to build a house, you would not hold in mind a cave or a hut, but a finished house. So it is with health and wealth and happiness. You must hold your pattern shown to you on the mount in your mind continuously. At certain stages of a building, a house looks not much more than a pile of debris, yet out of this comes the finished product. The shell must be cracked and the cocoon must be destroyed before advanced stages of demonstration can come. Perhaps it may seem like pestilence, want, and famine to you at first, to step out on this sea of material laws, but if your faith is fixed, forgetting your own life and keeping your eyes up, nothing but continued progress can come to you and you will not sink. I shall arise and go unto my Father. This is the first step in returning from a far country. Rise up wherever this finds you and return to your Father. He is within you, waiting to ally himself with you. All power shall be given to you through him, and the years or months of mistakes and errors shall fade away. And when you and your Father make a trip to the kingdom, you find the kingdom of heaven is within you. You go with the Father to the uttermost parts of it and start building up the fallen walls of your garden. You say to the weak places, be strong, be renewed, receive your light. You speak life anew to the flesh and see it manifested, fresh and pure with the vigor of youth. What are these wrinkles and gray hairs and poor eyes but a withdrawing from a certain part of the kingdom, the substance of life? Can a balloon become deflated as long as the air remains in it? So it is with our bodies. Until the God-mind releases the Word-made flesh of our body, it is impossible for it to show forth a single sign of age or decay. Now go forth in your garden and smooth out those lifeless places. Reclaim again the coming of the kingdom of heaven. Put age to flight by your knowledge that mind, life, God, you, and your Father are eternally young and beautiful, and take no cognizance of time or conditions which are exterior to yourself. Not that which goeth in, but that which cometh out of a man defileth him. Think of this, dear reader. Suppose you smile. Does this condition take place from within or without? Within, of course, you say. It is a voluntary thing. You are in a slight measure at least conscious of the mental effort when you smile. You do the same thing when a wrinkle appears. The unthinking flesh could no more record a wrinkle or produce a gray hair than a glass globe could, were it not for the voluntary or involuntary action of mind to back it. You can withhold or give a smile, and the same power is yours when it comes to the wrinkles or a gray hair or a weak eye or a sick body. And pressing it one step further, we add, or with a flat pocketbook. For in the beginning, everything was created out of something, and this something, you will admit, was mind, or substance, and is infinite and everywhere present. Your Father, with whom you are allied, is the force or power which is able to call this substance into existence and shape it into things hoped for. You finish your product mentally. You commune with the Father and shape your desires and then speak them out into existence. No matter where this finds you, no matter what limitations have been set upon you, when you once ally yourself with the Father within and take your demonstrations back to in the beginning, you realize that you have the opportunity of working everything out anew, or ridding yourself of objectionable conditions and bringing forth things anew. When a condition exists that is objectionable to you and which is not good, your I am, or Father within, takes his patterns to the ark, and then the purifying floods envelop the earth, your body, and wash it clean of all conditions which are undesirable. The body is purified, and when the floods subside, we find the whole earth, your body, fresh and new, ready to bring forth the pattern again. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Open unto him, you truth seeker. Open your mind to him and let him out into your life. He is already within your heart and asks for admittance to the garden. Open unto him and ally yourself with him and see worlds change before your very eyes. My words are spirit, and they are truth, and they shall not return to me void. That is now your power. Do you understand? You can now speak with authority, for you are one with the Father. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You cannot be transformed by anything exterior to yourself. This transformation must proceed from the within out. If you can so saturate your mind with youth and strength that it is oblivious to age, youth will sit atilt on your brow. When your mind is filled with happiness, one smile after another ripples across your face, almost without a conscious effort. This is the key to the whole situation. Saturate your mind with the idea and cooperate with the Father within, with whom is neither shadow of turning and who is already waiting to bring out into your life things which eye hath not seen nor ear heard. Go back to the place of in the beginning and declare your divine parenthood. Disassociate yourself with so many years or such and such conditions. Get very closely allied to the idea that life is spirit, unchanging and perfect, and upon it no limitations can be written. Get very conscious of the fact that you are spirit and that God is spirit, and this is your authority for allying yourself with the Father within. Can anything be clearer then than that you have right now in your possession all power, and that nothing can in any way hurt you? No matter if to sense you are a failure, or poor, sick, under bondage to 1,001 fears or material laws, behold, now you come into your own, and you can expect to see mountains melt and hills skip as lamb before this renewed understanding. No matter what man-made laws say about you, they may pin any one of a dozen things upon you. You may be under the ban of horoscopic law, which says certain things because you were born on a certain date, but all this is as the light thistledown. It is blown about by the winds of mortal mind and can only take root where it is given permission to do so. Until then, it is a mere nothing floating about without destination or aim, looking for lodging where it may. The law of God, unchangeable and perfect, has made you free, and this is the only law you are bidden to obey. God is your Father. You are not under bondage to either family or race thought. You are only to inherit the qualities of spirit. What are these qualities? Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Let him out into your garden, dear truth seeker. Ally yourself with the Father within. Dwell with him in the kingdom of heaven and place yourself in oneness with this life-giving current. This is your heritage of joy. Claim it, use it, make it your own. And there we have our final chapter in this book. And I have to say, I found this chapter, again, very interesting. The whole idea that you are perfect and you only have to see that and believe it and have faith for you to physically, mentally, emotionally, all those things be perfect. And I think that that's the thing we all struggle with, is that, I guess, that faith, which is why, again, as I said at the beginning, I do suggest you do go to the doctor and work on your faith. Do both. But he talks about dwelling in the kingdom of heaven, which is within. And when we say namaste, we're basically saying the divinity within me greets the divinity within you. It's recognizing the God within each of us. And that God within is our heritage of joy. And I do think he's right that we should claim it and use it and make it our own. So I want everyone to go out there and find that little inner voice, that little piece of God within you, that bit of the cosmos, that little speaker inside of us, where we can hear the voice of God or the universe or source or whatever you call it. But it is there to guide us, help us, and make sure we have all the powers we need to manifest in the 3D world. So listen to your little voice within. We've been talking a lot about this on the channel recently. Listen to it, your intuition, your voice of God within, and try to be one with that. This was an interesting little book. I found it a little old-fashioned and strange. I'm sure you did too. And it's interesting to see some of those ideas and thoughts from the early 20th century on manifesting still stay tried and true, whether you look at it from a Christian perspective or not. The principles are the same. So I find that part was very interesting. And let me know in the comments what you thought, and if there's any other books you would like for us to read on the channel or do a book study on. So until next time and our next book, remember, in the words of Buddha, 1,000 candles can be lit from a single candle, and the light of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. So thank you for sharing your time and attention with us here today at Meg's Magical Mansion.